All right, part B says find the absolute minimum value and the absolute maximum value of f on the closed interval -2 to 2. Show the analysis that leads to your conclusion. All right, so when I want to find absolute minimum and absolute maximum, I want to use the critical number test. All right, so remember that the extreme value theorem says if a function is continuous on a closed interval, then it has both an absolute max and an absolute minimum, and they occur at critical numbers. So we need to find critical numbers. All right, so find critical numbers. Now remember, critical numbers are locations where f prime is equal to 0 or undefined. So where is f prime equal to 0? All right, so first of all, let's take the piece on the left. All right, and so the piece on the left, 10 minus 2x minus x squared. So what is f prime of x? Okay, so when x is less than 1, f prime of x is going to be equal to what? That would be -2 minus 2x. All right. And so we can say that f prime of x equals 0. Well, so when does 0 equal -2 minus 2x? So if I add 2, I get 2 equals -2x. So that occurs when x equals -1. All right. What about the other piece? When x is greater than 1. F prime of x is, all right, and so we have 3 plus 4e to the x minus 1, and so we get 4 times e to the x minus 1 times the derivative of x minus 1, which is just 1. And so that piece is never equal to 0. Okay, how do you know that? Well, remember, the basic exponential graph looks like this, right? Which has a horizontal asymptote of y equals 0. The 4 would be a vertical stretch, so it would just multiply all the y values by 4, and the x minus 1 would just be a horizontal shift to the right, and so that thing is never equal to 0. All right, now, what about when is the derivative undefined, right? So this is when it's equal to 0 at -1. When is it undefined? Well, it's undefined at endpoints. So remember, x equals -2 and +2. All right, and then potentially where these two pieces meet each other at x equals 1. And so at x equals 1, we want to consider is the derivative on the left, -2 minus 2x, equal to the derivative on the right, 4e to the x minus 1. All right. And the fact is that these two pieces are not equal at x equals -1 because the left side, -2 minus 2 times 1, that would equal -4. And of course, this piece is always positive, right? So 4 times e to the 1 minus 1, right? 4 times e to the 0, that would just be 4. So these two are not equal, of course. And so that would mean that f prime is also undefined at that point. So at x equals 1. So what are the critical numbers? X equals -2, -1, 1, and 2. And so now we want to do the critical number test. So we're just evaluating the function at each of those values. So f of -2, f of -1, f of +1, and f of +2. All right, so f of -2. So now we need to plug -2 into the, let's see, we plug -2 into the top piece. We plug -1 into the top piece. We plug +1 into the top piece. And then we plug +2 into the bottom piece. All right, so f of -2. All right, so we are evaluating there. So if I plug -2 in, let's see, I'm sorry, I have to. All right, so f of -2. So 10 minus 2 times -2 minus -2 squared. All right, f of -1, 10 minus, I'm sorry, 10 minus 2 times -1 minus -1 squared. F of 1 we already did was 7. All right, and then f of 2, we're plugging that into the top or the bottom piece, 3 plus 4 e to the 2 minus 1. All right, so now we just have to evaluate each of those. All right, so 10 minus negative 4. So 10 plus 4 is 14 minus 4, so we get 10. All right, this second one, f of negative 1, 10 minus uh, 2 times negative 1, so 10 plus 1, or sorry, 10 plus 2 minus 1 is 12, sorry, 11. All right, and then we get f of 1 is 7, and then this one, let's see, e to the 2 minus 1 is 1, so this gives us 3 plus 4e. All right, so now we want the maximum and we want the minimum. Max is, well, which one of these is the greatest? All right, so, well, 11 of those three, but then 3 plus 4e. Remember, e is about 2.7, so 4 times 2.7 plus 3, of course. That is going to be the greatest. And what about the minimum? All right, well, the least of those is 7. So, all right, so that is part B.